Hello, YouTube. My name is KarQ. I played like 130 games of this Mauga meta, and I'm here to present to you a quick tier list on which supports to play in this Mauga meta, with the Mauga and against the Mauga in most cases. So Chad is saying hi. I duoed most of my games with Flats. He literally locked in Mauga as soon as he came out, and I basically played KarQ nonstop. We got him to rank 58. I hit rank 100 something. And the number one support, let's start from the top, I'm not actually gonna go in order, is KarQ. That's all I need to know. The best and the safest support to play with Mauga off the top. Why is that? Think why in your head really quickly, and then here are my 3 reasons. There's probably more than 3, but I'll just list 3 main ones. Number 1, Suzu. In the Mauga v Mauga meta, it's all about Mauga being sustained. What kills a sustain? An enemy anti-nade. You know what cleanses that? Suzu. Number 2 is Suzu again, but not for the anti reason. It's because Maugas versus Mauga, they're always on fire, right? Your Mauga is basically burning 24/7 when he mirrors another Mauga. So anytime you Suzu him, even without an anti-nade, you guarantee heal 110%, 110 HP. Because right now Suzu has been buffed and changed, so like it heals 80 base now, but it heals 110, so plus 30 extra healing if you cleanse any sort of negative effect. So the burning effect from an enemy Mauga will basically give, it's an instant 110 HP nade, if you want to think about it that way, from Suzu. Plus, that brief moment of invulnerability means you chuck the Suzu and you chuck some papers at the same time, and that brief moment of invulnerability allows you to probably heal 110 plus a bit with the papers, and that invulnerability period, while the Mauga is shooting on your team, with the overhealth being built from burning the other Mauga, plus the lifesteal from Cardiac, means that brief invulnerability period plus 110 HP plus few papers means you basically get a 200 plus HP pump, which can swing the fight very, very rapidly for the Mauga on your team. It allows him to win the 1v1, correct. Now, the third other reason that KarQ is really good is obviously because your Mauga is taking so much damage, you're healing a lot. When you're pumping your heals, you build Kitsune Rush really quick, and Kitsune Rush is a great ultimate when they start caging each other to just send right through. Kitsune Fight's a very high tempo support ultimate to use, and a very, very good game-changing ultimate in my opinion, because it just does so much for your whole team, you know, like 2x faster cooldowns, faster movement speed for engages, and what's it called, attack speed, right? Everything gets increased in DPS buff, especially Mauga, because he's in the brrr and his guns start firing faster in the Kitsune, means he gets to heal quicker with the overhealth passive with the Berserker, and then the cooldown reduction means he gets to chain his cardiac arrests non-stop. So KarQ is all you need to play with Mauga +1. So KarQ is the main one. So what's your other +1? Well, your +1 would probably be another hero here that's really good and synergizes either with your KarQ or helps alleviate the problems of the enemy Mauga. And which one do we think, chat, that I'm gonna put in the next tier? Ana. You can argue she's best, KarQ Ana, but I'd argue that like you can flex it a little bit more than you think. KarQ is the best priority, so she's like a cut above everybody else. So honestly, most comps I am running KarQ Ana. In the last like 100 games I played in top 500 on NA server with Mauga, it's KarQ Ana. But I think KarQ is just a little bit better. So Ana up top here. Why? Same reasons as I mentioned earlier. Your Ana nade, if you time it right, you can absolutely demolish their enemy Mauga. And also nanoing your Mauga while they're in the cage fight gives them a lot of tempo swing as well. KarQ Ana is actually like the most flexible support duo in a ranked competitive setting. Not in like pro play, because pro play they'll probably do like all in on a certain archetype. Like if you're going full dive or full brawl, you go Lucio Bap, Lucio Moira. Ana Kiri is like ranked solo queue flex support lineup that literally works with anything. It's already really good with Mauga. With most tanks, you can get away with playing these two without too much trouble. Anyways, KarQ plus Who is also really good with a Mauga on your team, but very likely facing another Mauga. Right now, I actually personally like Baptiste, but maybe because I'm Giga biased, I actually think Bap is pretty solid. As long as you have your KarQ as your main, your backup Bap can actually do quite a bit. Now, you'd argue that, like, you know, 2 supports will cannibalize each other's ult charge, but a good Baptiste in high elo has great APM tempo where they're always healing, shooting, and your Mauga always needs resources. He's a very resource hungry tank, so you can run double main support or double main healer support energy, you know what I'm saying? where you just dish out non-stop heals. You have a backup lamp plus Suzu for your Mauga, and the window is actually fantastic with two strategies. One, your window goes inside when they cage fight each other, because all the Mauga meta is right now is they both end up building ults around the same time. They both end up just dropping cages on each other. You throw your cage inside for your Mauga, just fight inside if your team gets trapped in there. Or the strat that I literally just ran in the previous last game was I windowed outside of it. I had a Hanzo or Sojourn outside. No, I had a Bash in that game actually, where I played outside. We expect the cage to be coming soon. If my Mauga has cage, their Mauga has cage. As soon as their cage comes up, instead of us going in there, try to bait it so they only cage you, because you can't avoid the cage. So Mauga flats only got caged. I sat back with the Bastion, we windowed, and then we destroy their cage because it's only 1400 HP. With the Bastion, even with the Sojourn, even the BAP, you DPS it, it can actually go down very quickly. You have your lamp to stall as needed, and as soon as it goes down, you just chuck your heals through the double window because it doubles your heals, and then you can actually keep up the your Mauga like crazy. And then also your DPS as Baptiste is insane through the window, even and without it, to pressure their Mauga, maybe force the cardiac arrest a little bit earlier. So I actually really like Baptiste with it. Next, I've gotten a few Brigs in this, but like I don't really like Brig in the Mauga meta. Brig is very pokey, or not pokey, excuse me. Well, she needs to get up close. I used the wrong word there. I meant pokey with the whip shot, but I got my terms confused. Her entire playstyle revolves around countering dive, at least in Overwatch 2 with their current state. And she's really good if obviously you're cleaning up and you're able to actually swing freely deep in the enemy lines. But like in a Mauga meta where everything is so like close quarters, it's pretty risky to just go all in with the swings. So at this point, you're kind of stuck in this part, just packing either the Mauga or your other squishies and just whip-shotting the Mauga nonstop to create some separation between their Mauga and your team as needed. Right, but obviously the further away their Mauga is also means your Mauga can't heal off them as much, but it's at least like you have the agency to choose when to whip shot them away as needed to create separation, because Mauga's stronger up close because he's all shotgun and spread, and like you just get your Inspire passive as best as possible. I've played with Brig a few times. I played Kiriko, and then I had a couple of Brig one tricks in the last 50 games I played with flats. And it's like, okay, it's not ideal in this Mauga specific meta, right? Because it's not very divey, but Tracer is really common in this elo, so like it's fine. You can still like annoy the Tracer. So it's not like your job to like necessarily like push back the or like just like to like swing at the Mauga. Swinging at the Mauga just almost does nothing in a lot of cases. Like it obviously does a little damage and you get your Inspire, but like your priority should be to protect your backline by packing them from random Tracers or anybody else that's squishy that's low, and just continually keeping your Inspire passive up with your whip shot. So it's not ideal, but it's certainly playable. Anything Kiriko plus anything is like somewhat playable. So that's why I have like a 4-tier list, if that makes sense. Only 4 tiers. Okay, Illari also down here as well. I think I saw 130 games. I mean, I'm the one playing Kiriko, so like there's one open slot on the support line. I saw 0 Illaris on my team, and on the enemy team, I saw 1. Honestly, it actually is kind of unplayable in this meta. It's not very good. Actually, if there was a tier below it, maybe you could argue that Illari's unplayable. But like, as long as you have Kiriko, you can make anything sort of work. But if they have Mauga, let's just say it's hard. Okay, and why is it hard? Well, Illari's a very pokey kind of support. She was slotted in a lot with Baptiste in the Sigma meta, like Bap Illari, and even Orisa, I think, in a couple of the pro matches in the World Cup a couple of months ago. But Illari is a long-range pokey support, and her value comes from doing that. And Mauga is like, he has so much frontal armor and heals that like it actually doesn't do too much. You need to actually find off angles to pressure anybody except the Mauga. And if you're gonna take these angles, that means you're generally playing away from your Mauga, so you're not in range to like beam him. And the beam is a strong single target heal, but the pylon's been nerfed quite a bit, so like the pylon pumping a little bit of heal in the Mauga is not going to change too much, so you're kind of just playing your own game, so it's not very synergistic, not ideal at all with Mauga. But like, if in it's solo queue, rank solo queue, anything is playable, to be fair. So, I mean, you can get away with it. If you're really cracked on Illari, you kill 4. That's not Mauga on the enemy team. I mean, you're still getting value for your team. Then you just collapse on last. Okay, next, Life Weaver. I've actually seen like 5 or 6 Life Weavers within this Mauga meta. It's like, I wouldn't say it's really good, but it's actually okay. I'd bring it a tier up. Like, remember, Mauga is a resource-heavy support, and who pumps out heals like crazy? Life Weaver. And it also gives you an escape from cage fight at any point. A single escape, at least, because the life grip goes through it. And a tree and a sustain with it is pretty nice. Like in a cage, you just chuck a tree in the middle of it and it just pumps heals and it gives them like a little bit of cover. So yeah, it's not the worst, to be honest with you. It's okay. It's definitely like in the B tier. Like this is the B tier. So we'll leave Life Weaver there. Lucio, it's also okay. I play KarQ. Actually, this one's a little bit way more common than Life Weaver, but that also might be a product of Lucio just being a more common hero than Life Weaver in general. But you can definitely speed in the Mauga to like take engages correctly and, you know, work off that. The Lucio beat's still very good, but yeah, you can boot back the Mauga when he's not overrunning quite a bit to, again, create separation as needed on the map. And like, I don't know, speed is always just valuable at the higher ranks, right? As long as your team is like all like understanding when to engage and disengage and move around, it's not bad. It's okay. Mercy, also okay, believe it or not. Some people would be like, Mercy's so bad right now in this meta, but not. But I actually think she's okay. I feel like the high elo players, who's high, like George in the chat, you know why I'm putting Mercy up here, right? Not really good, but like certainly okay. No, not just damage booster, she heals. Troll Kid Trolls is correct. It's Sojourn. No, it's not the Valk buffs. Also, I forgot to mention, this is like framed for like my experience with Mauga at the higher ranks in top 500. It's actually not Ashe. You know, believe it or not, you know like how Ashe has, you know, if you burn someone with a dynamite, Mauga can crit instantly, but like it doesn't matter because Mauga lights the enemy Mauga on fire most of the time anyways, and he's always critting because that's who he's supposed to shoot. So you don't actually need to synergize the dynamite that much. It's actually, if you're good at DPS, you need to actually just play Sojourn. Good Sojourns are like incredibly powerful with the Mercy Pocket. Valuable if you can pull off a res on Mauga too, because like, proportionally, if you res a tank, it has, I would say, proportionally higher value than resing anybody else on your team. It's the biggest HP pool. You hold the most space with it. Depending on some factors, maybe you res like that Genji with Blade, and that could be like the winning factor. But most definitely, it's the Sojourn that makes the biggest difference. And if you can cheese and randomly get the Mauga res in your Valk, you also get a lot of value. Moira. To be completely honest, as long as I have Kiriko, I would prefer a Moira over Brig or Illari in this meta. You say not ideal, but like, obviously these tier lists are very subjective, and this is just my opinion. You're entitled to your own. Some people definitely feel not ideal, but like, on paper and in practice, because there's like Moira mains that'll just play Moira, right? Not very many Illari mains, but there's quite a few Moira mains in top 500, and like, honestly, it doesn't feel that bad at all. Why? Again, as long as they're not like DPS flanking. Like there's a time and place for playing Moira to TikTok flank. If you actually are playing Moira to your win con with Mauga specifically, which is just literally heal bot. That's actually, you build fast coalescences and you can swing off the tempo of coalescence because it also pierces through cage fight. So you pocket your Mauga with coalescence and you DPS there. So they win the cage v cage 1v1. So that's why I actually think it's like okay, to be honest with you. Last but not least, Zenyatta. It's arguably between okay and really good. A little bit better than all of these tiers. I really should, like, at the end of this, I might actually expand the list to actually do the in-betweens. Because now that I finished the list, I actually think it's okay to add a few more. I would prefer, in most cases, to play Kiriko plus Ana or BAP, or the Mercy with the Sojourn specifically. But like, it's just not, it wasn't common enough for me to get a good feel of it. Because I played against a few, like Zen was certainly more common than some of these other ones. It didn't feel too outrageous, but I do remember a couple of games today where they ran Zen and they played, I think they played Ana Zen, no Kiri, because we didn't have an Ana. And they actually blew up flats immediately. It's like at the higher end of okay, yeah. Yeah, he has to not be contested. That's a good one. Let's actually add a row above. Decent. Like, Ana's a cut above BAP. BAP's pretty decent with it. Zen's pretty decent. Lucio's pretty decent. So, Life Weaver's okay. Mercy, higher up with Sojourn. Moira's okay. This makes more sense. I should have added this tier first. I really should have added 5 tiers. And then not ideal, but it's ranked, so you can play whatever you want at the end of the day, and you can probably still find victories. All right, and that's my list of supports in the Mauga meta. Priority is Kiriko. Next priority, probably play Ana and you're pretty good. You're pretty safe. But if not, these 3 seem pretty solid. Life Weaver's okay. Moira's okay. Brig, Lari, not the best. Bye, YouTube. That's my take.